It was the penultimate weekend in football in the NAIA this season. We are headed for a rematch in the national championship game, and there were a lot fewer points scored than what I thought would happen this weekend. The defenses really kicked in and played a very big role in both of these games. One maybe a little bit more so than the other. I think they both play out pretty well. Hey, I'm Joey McWilliams. Thanks for watching Midwest Sports on this Sunday night. If you're watching us live, well, let us know in the chat from where you are watching us on this wonderful, chilly Sunday night where I am here in Oklahoma. Bet it's a little bit colder where you are. Unless you're in West Palm Beach, then it's likely that it's not quite as cold outside where you are. So let's talk about the top 5 performances. But first, we're going to go beyond the 5. And actually, you know what? Our beyond the 5 doesn't have to take us too far tonight because there were just 2 games to talk about. Let's talk about the number 1 team in the country first. That's right. Northwestern has now won 27 consecutive games. 26 coming into this one, 27 with the victory over Georgetown, 35-10. That was the final in the contest. And I mentioned it was a little bit chilly here tonight. It was colder than that in Orange. It was quite chilly outside. And snow's been showing up in Orange City, it seems like, just about every weekend. I know it was not only a little bit chilly, but it was windy as well. A fun game to watch, at least, again, from the internet's perspective, to get to watch this. You know what? I enjoy sitting at a cold football game every now and again, but if I can watch a cold football game and not be cold, that's all right too. But that's all okay. Coach Picardi's team got it done, and Kevin said, yeah, Raider Nation was getting the job done. So there you go. We'll throw that one up there. Kevin, thanks for watching tonight. And it was. That's what I saw. Were you there, Kevin, watching it and feeling that wind? Have to ask that. Just have to know if you were there to be a part of that game. Northwestern 35, Georgetown 10. For Northwestern, Jalen Gramstad, 14 for 18. That's pretty efficient passing. 199 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, had 1 interception as well. The defense got into play, and we knew that Georgetown's defense was going to play a part in this somewhat. So picked off Gramstad 1 time. Gramstad also 10 carries for only 28 yards. The Tigers were ready for him on defense as well. Meanwhile, for Georgetown, quarterback Garrig Sluniker, 11 of 18, not a bad passing day, 146 yards passing, no touchdowns. He was picked off 1 time as well. He had 6 carries for 17 yards, and that's where he scored his touchdown on the day. So Sluniker with a touchdown. That was 1 more touchdown than Darius Neal, however, and that's probably a little bit of a surprise there. He had 1 more rushing touchdown. Neal, 15 carries, 28 yards, and no touchdowns. He had no receptions either. So that was, that was kind of a big deal there. Anyway, Kevin watching it on the live stream. I watched it on the live stream as well. Pretty good broadcast. I enjoyed that. The teams combined for 3 punts, and I would imagine really you would not want to punt too many times in this weather. So that was 1 game, 35-10, and we mentioned it was going to be a rematch. I don't think too many people are surprised by that. Well, that's the actual rematch button right there. How about do we have a score there? There we go. We get the right graphic up there. There's the score. Kaiser 28, College of Idaho 21. This one really came down to the wire, and there were less points scored in this game than what I thought. And Mike, let's go ahead and throw this up. Mike from Stuart, Florida. Great game between Kaiser and College of Idaho. Kaiser defense strong. I think both defenses were strong, but I think Kaiser's defense came away definitely with the stands that they made. And let's look at that really quickly. College of Idaho, John Schofield has been a force for this team. He had on the day 4 carries for 2 yards rushing, had 3 receptions, 47 yards receiving. We expected, I think, that from him, but Schofield he's been that back, that it's a short yardage. They need to get him in there. He's been able to put touchdowns on the board in almost 50% of his carries this year. They bring him in this strong package, and he's been able to get it done. He was not able to get it done inside the 5-yard line. Able to get no, he didn't have a rushing touchdown. 10 of a passing touchdown, He was 1 for 2 passing with a touchdown. Schofield now in the year, how about this? 2 for 3 passing, 2 touchdowns. 2 of those passes were attempted on Saturday. So he does get a touchdown pass in the whole thing, but that Kaiser defense, stop after stop after stop. And to put this into a little bit of perspective here, College of Idaho had a strong team, gotten better over the course of the season. I realize you can throw that last regular season game out, but then in the playoffs, coming away with some really big wins. A big win over Montana Western and putting up 49 points and keeping the Bulldogs at bay. A big win over Grandview at Grandview and playing strong on both the offense and defensive side of the ball, putting up 31 points against Grandview, a team that had given up only 56 the entire year. And we expected more of them. And to the Yotes' credit, they continue to move the ball down the field. Got 21 points against a tough Kaiser defense, but it was the times they didn't score. 4 times, College of Idaho got it within the 10. 3 times, it was virtual goal line stands for the Seahawks. And I know one of those goal line stands included stopping Schofield not once, but twice, from the 3 and then from the 1. And then, of course, again, from the 4-yard line on 4th down with 27 seconds remaining, Kaiser's defense was there, got it done, took care of business, and it was a big, big win. Bryce Beasley on the day, 9 for 22 passing, a little bit less than 50% passing on the day. No touchdowns, no picks. It was the running game for Kaiser that got it done. So let's go ahead and move on over to our graphic. It's not taking us that long to get to the top 5 tonight. We're 7 minutes in, and we're going to get to the top 5 tonight. It happens when there are only 2 games, so that's all right. Again, thanks to everyone for watching. Michael, by the way, thanks for watching from Stuart, Florida. Appreciate that as well. Strong goal line stands, and that's exactly what they did. They stood up, they got it done, and took care of business there. Very impressive. I'm extremely impressed with that. Let's get to our top 5, and there they are. Top 5. And there are a couple, I guess if you want to say top 7, that's fine. But these 2 double up there. Let's just get to it and talk about it, okay? The first one there, Andy Peters and John Krebs. Andy Peters, 23 of 43 passing on the day, 284 passing yards. Pretty solid, again, against a very tough Kaiser defense. Had 2 touchdown passes, was not picked off in this game, so we didn't get a Wendell Fullord interception pick 6. That's kind of what I thought might happen. Didn't happen in the game. Peters was sacked 4 times, however, a testament to that Kaiser defense. And then Andy Peters connected. His 2 touchdown passes were both to John Krebs, who had 8 catches on the day, 95 yards receiving. Solid day for John Krebs, Andy Peters. They come up a little bit short against Kaiser. And again, it came down to the final minute and the defense holding strong. Let's go to the Kaiser offense now for a moment. And we're going to talk a little bit about our prop bets that we had this week and what we thought might happen. We're going to do that again this week, this next week, coming into the national championship game. So get your prop bets ready, and let's hear what you might have to say about this national championship. But one of those was that Jaden Meisinger, would he, over or under 199.5 yards? I really kind of expected the over. And the more I look at it and see the outcome of this game and the previous game, we're seeing a lot more balanced attack between Meisinger and Burnett. And that's exactly what you saw again in this contest. The 2 running backs almost dead even again in their production. Meisinger had the ball a little bit more, 20 carries, 86 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Andrew Burnett, 13 carries, 84 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. Big day. It was balanced just like it was the previous week. And so it looks like Coach Sosha is taking that attitude and that effort. And if it were to say that Meisinger were to break one open and, get a 70-yard run, I'm sure he has no problem with that. Not going to bring Burnett in to try to balance that out. But he's been able to get solid production for both. And I think what I'm saying here is I think if I had considered that maybe a little bit more, and we'll see on our prop bets this week, maybe the prop bet this week is, will the combination of Meisinger and Burnett come up with, 175 rushing yards, whatever the case may be. So we'll see how that plays out. Meisinger didn't get 200. Kaiser still gets the win, though, so it's not some kind of stat that just locks everything in. But a big day for both of them. 3 rushing touchdowns they combined for that. So a solid day all the way around. One more here for Kaiser. Tavon Sutton. Sutton with 9 tackles, second on the team for the day, had 4 tackles for loss. And Sutton also had a couple of big stats. These came in the first quarter. 1.5 sacks, had both of those, his full sack and his half sack, both in the first quarter. The full sack was the first time that College of Idaho got within the 10-yard line, and Sutton comes in, not only gets the sack, forces the fumble as well. He had a forced fumble on the day. Now, College of Idaho is able to recover the ball, but it was well beyond where they had gotten in inside the 10, and ultimately they turned it over on downs, 4 and out. Well, not 4 and out, but they turned it over on downs inside the red zone, and it was the first of 4 times on the day that Kaiser was able to stop College of Idaho inside the red zone and inside the 10-yard line. Now, again, you see on the board, 21 points. The Yotes did score, but there were enough times that they got it inside the 10 and had the opportunity, and the Seahawk defense was there that I think that's the difference in the game. And obviously a 7-point game. You get even one. You get one score of those 4 times inside the 10, and it's a tie ball game. So that's a fallacy of logic. We don't know exactly how the game would have played out depending upon when it happened, but that is there. Michael says that Sutton was awesome, and I happen to agree with you. Top 5 there. Peter's a real threat, but Meisinger and Burnett just, well, they let me see there. They played out as the dynamic duo. Sorry, I couldn't read that as well. So anyway, well, thank you, Michael. I'm glad you got to see that as well. This was a fun one to follow. And I have to tell you, at that time slot yesterday, there were 3 that I was following. Of course, the 2 NAIA games and the first of 2 Division II semifinals. I don't know if some of you all may know, I work with the Great American Conference pretty consistently and working as the voice on the GAC Sports Network. So I was also keeping up with what Harding was doing to Lenore-Rhine, and that was absolutely brutal what Harding was doing to Lenore-Rhine. So there will be a Great American Conference football team in the national championship in McKinney, Texas. I'm telling you, that's an hour and 5 minutes from my house where that stadium is. So not that far down the road. We'll see what happens on Saturday if I'm able to make the trek down there to see that one. I know the big one's going to be on Monday night here that we talk about. That's in Durham, North Carolina. I'll leave that to Corey to go get to watch that one. But anyway, big game there. So I'm following all 3, and this one was just absolutely fun. I mean, it really Harding wins 55-14. Northwestern had a solid lead as the day went on in the wind. And this one kept you on the edge. I mean, all the way to the end. It wasn't decided till the last 27 seconds of the game. So there we go. All right, let's talk 2 more. 2 more in our top 5 here really, really quickly, and they are both from Northwestern. Connor McQuillan, 28 carries, 129 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, had a catch for 34 yards as well. And so McQuillan continues to roll. He now has 156 points scored on the season. That is tied for the top of the NAIA. 20 rushing touchdowns, has 6 receiving touchdowns as well. McQuillan with a fantastic season, and he still has 1 more game to play. So he could continue this mark. Now, over the amount of time, the amount of games he's played, that's where, his point total is average at 11.1. I think there's an average or 2 that's a little bit better than that, but still 156 points. You have to give credit there to Connor McQuillan. Dave, thanks for watching tonight. Looking forward to watching the national championship game and rooting for the GPAC. The GPAC represented once again. That's just, and listen, that's been the case here as we've gone into the 2020s and prior to that somewhat, as we've seen the GPAC represented quite well, as a matter of fact. Last 6 years? Yeah, last 6 years. So, or last 6 championships. 2 of them were in the same calendar year, 2021 there, the spring and the fall. All right, one more, Michael Story. We're going to give this one to Michael Story, and I think There have been times that Story's been a little bit overlooked this season. There have been some fantastic receivers in the NAIA. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later on, but I don't want to get ahead of myself, so let's stay with Story here. 8 catches, 110 yards receiving, 3 touchdown catches on the day. How big is that in the national semifinals? You come away with 3 touchdown receptions. That's huge. And lots of credit then. I mean, we give it to Gramstad finding him. His 3 touchdown passes, all of them were to Michael Story, but you have to get open. You have to find a way to get open, not only downfield, but in that end zone, find a way to make the catch as well. And this is against a very, very tough Georgetown defense. I think that plays into as well. So Michael Story now, 3 touchdown catches. He now has 16 on the season, and that is 45 touchdowns in his career. That is a record at Northwestern. He also has a rushing touchdown in 2021, so he has 17 touchdowns on the season. Props to Michael Story, and he makes it into our top 5 performances on this show tonight. And by the way, we mentioned penultimate weekend in NAIA football in 2023, so there's one more weekend, and Michael Brooks is let me read this right. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm reading this right. The Brooks family is going to be there for the national championship. Well, good for you. That's really pretty cool. The championship rematch. Go Seahawks. If you follow the channel here very often, you know that I'm actually a Seattle Seahawks fan too. Don't ask how this Southern Oklahoma boy became a Seahawks fan back in the 80s, but I did, and I've cheered for them off and on. So hey, I always enjoy saying go Seahawks. But Michael, I hope you enjoy the trip. How far a trip is that for the Brooks family to Durham? That sounds like it should be fun. And it looks like it could be just a fantastic weekend as well. So shout out to you for being able to make that trip. National championship rematch. So here we go then. We can take that off and I can put that right back up there. I revealed that graphic just a little bit too quickly. They pushed the wrong button. That's okay. All right. Let's talk about the prop bets. We did this on Thursday. Some of you all got involved in this, so let's just talk right here. These were what we had, and I threw these out here. What would you have taken? We'll mention what happened. Over under Georgetown and Northwestern, 10 hours from Stewart to Durham. That'll be fun family trip. Fun family trip. I hope you enjoy it. Georgetown, Northwestern, the over-under was 54.5. I said over, but just barely, and 45 points total in that game. So definitely it was the under there. All right, Darius Neal, 21.5 carries. We said, I thought he might go over that just barely because he'd been getting the ball a little bit more, and I think the Northwestern defense found a way to shut him down. He had 15 carries for just 28 yards on the day. So if you were following along, and how did you do on these prop bets? So far, I'm not doing that well. Who scores first? I believe I said Northwestern, and Northwestern did, in fact, score first in this one. That was McQuillan touchdown, by the way, to get Northwestern to score first. Does Georgetown get a defensive touchdown? They did not. Did not get a defensive touchdown. And by the way, Georgetown had 6 defensive touchdowns coming into the season. That might have been a pretty sure bet, but it did not happen. All right. How many touchdowns is Gramstad responsible for? It's supposed to be a question mark there. I think I said 3 that Gramstad would be responsible for, and he had 3 touchdown passes. So rock on. I think that may have been the only one I got right out of all those prop bets. I don't know how you all did in that. College of Idaho at Kaiser. The over-under I had at 70.5 points, and I know it was said that was a lot of points, but consider this. Just think about this for a moment. That in a game that Kaiser had put 50 on the points, 50 boards on the points, 50 points on the board twice in back-to-back weeks, 50 plus. And College of Idaho had 31 points against Grandview, 49 points against Montana Western. So, I mean, this is a game where you just have to win 36-35, and it's a 70.5 point plus on that, 71 points right there. And they still didn't make it to that. So the defenses showed up. We've already talked about the Kaiser defense, and honestly, College of Idaho's defense wasn't bad in this. You keep Meisinger and Burnett both under 100 rushing yards. Not bad at all. 49 points total. Definitely, it was the under in this one. So there's our prop bet. Okay, who is responsible for more touchdowns? Andy Peters or John Schofield? And it turns out that Peters was responsible for more touchdowns. I think I said Peters. I'll go back and check the tape on that. But Peters was responsible for more touchdowns in this one. Over under, does Meisinger get over or under 199.5 rushing yards? We already talked about this one. Definitely, it was the under on that one. He had less than 90 rushing yards. The two combined had less than 175 rushing yards. So, and that may be the number for our prop bet this week. Keep that in mind. And what kind of touchdown does Wendell Fullord Jr. score? Well, the answer turned out to be none of the above. I had him with a pick six. And he has one more game. So we'll see how that works out. Gramstad, 3 touchdowns in the championship game. So Kevin already giving his take on a prop bet for the future. We'll talk about that on Thursday night when we preview the national championship game. And I know I'm going to have at least one guest on with me. And if you follow NAIA football, then I think you're not going to be surprised as to who is coming on with me. And so we'll know we're going to have one and possibly a couple of guests on the show on Tuesday night. So something to keep in mind. I encourage you, please do tune in Tuesday night and be a part of the broadcast. We will be doing prop bets on Tuesday night, so we'll see how that plays out. And Kevin, all right, Kevin's just giving all kinds of prop bets because he sees Northwestern scoring a lot. Michael, I don't know if you're following this right now, but Kevin thinks that Northwestern is going to put a lot of points on the board, so we'll see how that happens. It'll be the first time this playoffs, by the way, that Northwestern will do it outside the friendly confines there in Orange City. So we'll have to see. All right. Okay, couple things here really quickly, and I won't take up too much more of your time tonight. We have a lot more to talk about to wrap up the NAIA football season for 2023, and I want to do that with you all. I think last year, well, I'll just say outright that last year we didn't follow up well enough. We had our final football program of the season on the preview show. Okay, Kaiser's going to be there with the offense as well. And Kaiser, by the way, first time. Yeah, that's right. Kaiser first time playing outside the friendly confines as well. So that'll be interesting. We shut down our football talk too quickly last year, and I apologize for that. Fortunately for me, I get a chance to talk about Northwestern and Kaiser once again this year. We will have the week's going to be strong. I can already tell you there's at least one trip to Springfield, Missouri in the week because I'm picking up daughter number 3 from college. And so that one, we'll see how it plays out. But over the course of the next 7 days, we're going to get a couple of interviews. We will also talk a little basketball along the way. But we're going to wrap up what 2023 was. We're going to take some of the perspective of what the conferences did. And did the conferences succeed? Did they fail this year? What do you think about that? How did these conferences do? Because some conferences just flat out did well. I mean, honestly, let's just say it. GPAC did well. Dave is right on board. Once again, there's another GPAC team in the national championship game, and the GPAC gets 3 teams in the playoffs. We'll talk about that, how these teams did. It's bowl season in Division I. No bowls this year in the NAIA. We didn't even have a victory bowl this year, which is a shame. It's a real shame. And so we're going to talk about some of the bowl games that could have been, should have been, and maybe even should be in the future. I recognize I'm not in charge of all these athletic departments and their financial situations as well, but we'll talk about conferences. We'll talk about potential bowls. And like I said, we do have some interviews coming up, so please tune in for those. Now, some of our evening discussions will be live streams just like this. I hope you get to be a part of it for a live stream. And if you can't watch the replay, that's cool as well. But But yeah, definitely be on for Thursday night. But the videos will be there. And that's always a lot of fun because I don't know when I'm going to get to talk to these coaches. Lots of times it's in the morning. Hey, we don't want to do a live stream in the morning. We want to do this in the evening when we can all get together. But I can drop that video online after getting to talk with the coach in the morning. And those are a lot of fun too. And I have to tell you, oh, by the way, hey, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. I'll let me throw that up there. I appreciate that a whole lot. It means a lot. I'm enjoying talking about NAIA football. When I was in college, the first time, 1989 to 1993, when I was in college the first time, the university I went to there, Southeastern Oklahoma State University, was an NAIA program. It's Division II right now, and those two affiliations have had my heart for decades now. So I thoroughly enjoy Division II, and I thoroughly enjoy the NAIA. So thanks. Love talking about it. But I'm just having a blast, and we are about to pass a milestone on Midwest Sportsnet. So I want to encourage you to just do a couple things. If you ever want to be a part of a broadcast, chat, live chat, whatever you want to do, please just jump right on in here because it's a lot more fun when you all are talking and I get a chance to visit with you and wherever you are, whether it's in Iowa or Florida or whatever the case may be, it's a lot more fun when you're here. Secondly, we are just about to cross a milestone of hours watched, which means we're partially monetized right now on the channel, which, if you give super chats or super stickers or super thanks or whatever, that's a neat thing. But we're just about that 4,000 watchtowers. So, hey, if you want to watch a video or two, even outside the live stream, please do. It helps the channel. I'm hoping we get there before Christmas, but I believe we'll be there by New Year's. So that's the goal and just trying to continue to grow the channel. There you go. And you got to be a part of it. So to Michael and to Kevin and to Dave and to anybody else, and you know what? Just in case Jake happens to show up outside of the live stream, because Jake's definitely a big fan, friend of the channel. Thanks to him as well. And all you guys for watching. It means a lot. My Sunday nights are very much enjoyable because I get to visit with you after church on a Sunday night. I've already got the studio set up, so we are good to go and ready to go for there. Anybody have anything else that I've missed or don't know about? Because I always try to, I'm going to give my sign off before I go on the air too, because I always like to say thank you to you all. So I'll type this in really quickly before we go off the air, because that always shows up after the fact, and I never get to see it later because it's part of the live chat. Hey, Michael, I hope to meet you sometime too. That'd be awesome. Maybe we get a chance to visit. In the meantime, safe trip, Michael. Watch the program between now and next Monday because we still will talk more NAIA football and at least one guest on with me on Thursday night. So I'll let you take a guess who that may be. I know for sure he'll be here. And by the way, he resides in your state of Florida. So he'll be on with me. And I think another guest from Texas will be on with me as well. So, there it is. Here's my sign off. Did it show up? There we are. All right. God bless you all. Thanks for watching on this evening. Continue to watch the channel. Hey, get some of the videos in. It always helps a lot. And you guys have a great, great night. Northwestern, Kaiser, we're going to be talking about it all week long right here on Midwest Sportsnet. God bless you. Have a great night.